welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. A beautiful, beautiful shot of the analyst desk, but it's empty because we're over here. We're getting ready to go into our third game of the day. Obviously, PDW, they're backed well and truly to the wall. Just to give you some stats, PDW have had 5 kills and Big have had 35 kills. I don't think we have enough hands between 34 kills. We don't have enough hands between us. Yeah, we can do 20 and then we'll have to get our toes out to count out the rest. But yeah, they've it's been a very one-sided game from Big so far. And you know, they're potentially looking at a 3-0 and a very clean run into the semi-finals.
Very, very clean indeed. It has been an absolute slaughter so far, some inside words. And yeah, PW gonna have to really pull something out. They've chosen red side again. I think their second game was better than their first one.
Yeah, they got... yeah.
Still a little bit tricky. I think honestly, you know, maybe like the first 15 minutes were decent for PDW, and I liked at least the shift in playstyle focused more towards OD on the bot side, because I do think he's there. You know, I've said it a lot, but he is their best player, and he is definitely their biggest carry threat. Big keep throwing bot bans towards him. To be honest, if both teams ran back the same draft from last game, I think they'd both be happy. PW just want a bit slightly different execution once you reach like that 15-minute mark.
You know, for me, I'd like to see PDW maybe prioritize the bot lane a little earlier, because we're not seeing bot lanes actually get locked until the second phase of the pick bans. And I feel like, you know, OD's just so heavily pinched by that point. He got the Tristana, and that's like a great champion. And we talked about it, you know, they gave a lot of gold, injected a lot of gold into him. And he was 1,000 gold up on Keduii, and then didn't do anything with that 1,000 gold. So when we checked back in on him 8-9 minutes later, he was still just 1,000 gold up. On the other side, Melonik, who had like a 1,500 gold lead, that extended to like a 3k lead. And it came off the back of Rika being very proactive on the maps. It wasn't really like jumping in and setting up kills. He was just there to apply pressure with the Destiny, forcing people off objectives, and then they could pick up plates, they could pick up dragons, they could pick up rift arrows, they could pick up, you know, the occasional pick. And, you know, I think another really nice pickup here. Again, Czajek has banned that Silas away, so you can't take that as the counter pick. But there's a bit of adaptation, the Rakan and the Zhao for PDW.
So we're going for some more aggression, some more proactivity. I'd expect to be focusing more towards the bot side with the players from PDW this game, which to me would indicate that Color's probably going to be a more like a facilitator role this time around. He did play that Camille and didn't have a great game into Gwen. I think Melonik honestly has just had Color's number a little bit this series, so you know, his most played champion is Ornn. Why not just stick him on Ornn duty or something like that? But so far you've just got really good, you know, you've got engaged on the bot side, you've got protection there. The first 2 picks for me from PDW, you know, do say that we can play towards OD, and like you said as well, wanting to maybe pick that AD a little bit earlier will avoid pinching. But there's a lot of choices you can go with, to be honest. Maybe they just want to get a good counter into the TF or something like that.
I do still feel like, you know, you could get yourself a nice counter into that, you could get yourself a nice bot lane. There's still plenty of okay weak side top laners as well, so the gangbang hasn't really shown its face too much during this entire series, but they are just going to lean into Czajek's Ryze once again here as the lock-in, and now we'll see where the bot lanes go, because I feel like PDW probably just wanted to ban away things that can handle this Rakan. And then Big, probably just going to continue to pinch OD's champ pool. Yeah,
for sure. This is it, right? It looks as though they might even go for that pick on 4 here, like they did last draft, where they went for that Tristana. If you can keep pinching that bot side, Keduii will really struggle with finding a good answer. He'd really have to dig deep in his pool to find something when you've got, you know, 4 champions banned away already. You're probably going to contribute to that and add even more. OD's most likely going to pick one his way away too. And I do think Keduii, you know, he's not the carry on Big necessarily, but he always plays well, and it's really hard for you to like take him out of the game. Even in that last game when there was so much focus being put onto OD and OD was getting really far ahead, Keduii still finished off doing really well. He was able to kind of stem the bleeding a lot as well. Like, he's like your perfect weak side ADC, which is very, very good to have when your solo lanes are as good as Rika and Melonik.
Well, could be looking at a 780 carry ban this game if they decide to go for something like the Tristana to deny that from OD. That is going to be the case. Do I hear Yasuo Gragas? Maybe. I mean, what else is there? There's so little left. I mean, Rakan, I guess you go for the Kaiser. You talked about that earlier. as a
Yeah,
potential
you've got
pickup.
Ashe still available, Kai'Sa's
Yes.
still around, Jim's still open, Keduii picked that in the first game. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that one drop down as well, since you've already got a lot of engage, a lot of forward momentum on the side of Big. So yeah, Jhin would make some sense. Kai'Sa I think also makes a lot of sense, and I think Keduii is pretty good on Kai'Sa. So wouldn't be surprised to see one of those two go down here. Is going to be that Shen for color, more team facilitating. Not the Ornn, but still a similar role. And honestly, I think he did fine. He did absolutely fine in game number 1 in that top side against Melonik, who it was the same matchup. Camille into Shen. Just wasn't really able to contribute to his team. That wasn't really his fault. Wasn't really much going for PDW in that first game. So hopefully they're going to look for a little different there. Jhin being locked in for Keduii. It's going to be the last pick here. You probably want something a little bit protective. Maybe something like the Braum or a bit disengagey.
Yeah.
See what they go for here.
Yeah, taking the time to think about it. I mean, the support ball's not been heavily trimmed, but you know, it's what do you want to kind of lock in with the Jhin? I guess the problem with locking in the Braum is Braum and Jhin isn't particularly the greatest combination in the world. It's very hard to use with concussive blows.
It's crap, but it's like, yeah, Big just loves going forward. They just go forward. It's a similar thing to what they did in the first game, and yeah, like Leona makes a lot more sense than Braum. Like, yeah. Me on that one. Like, no, already has a pick of the litter here. He knows exactly what he's playing into. He knows he's going to be up against a lot of engage. So if he does go for one of these champs, all right, there's a slight risk involved in this one right here. You know, you've got Jinx, low mobility, not paired with the Thresh, does have some protection with Rakan. You've got Shen to protect you as well. But there is so much going towards you, so much jumping in your face. Camille, Lee Sin, Twisted Fate, Leona. Oh my goodness, it's just got to be so careful. It's so hard to play.
It's hard to miss CC as well, I think is the big thing. You know, Leona is an auto attack. Twisted Fate, especially when you've got a rapid fire cannon, is a long range auto attack. Yeah. It's very easy to land the hook shot. It's a point and click on the Hextech Ultimatum. You know, Akabane, the kick technically obviously has some skill level on it, but again, it is still at least a point and click ability. There's so much ways to displace Odie and move him from his team, but it could be problematic. So Odie's gonna have to play his mind out, and realistically, all of PDW have to play their mind out if they can find a win here. Because now, for our all Polish powerhouse, this is 5 Polish players and the last representative for the side of the Ultra Liga. If they lose here, that's it. That's it for Poland. Unfortunately, they will lose their representation here at the EU Masters. As we've headed onto the Rift for game number 3. Big are 1 away from a clean 3-0 as we head to the Rift.
Yeah, wouldn't they have deserved it as well? The way they played the first 2 games was so impressive. So impressive. Absolute thrashing in game number 1. Game number 2 took 10-15 minutes before they decided to put the Jets on, and again, similar outcome for PDW. It's been difficult for them, for the Polish team, to find their footing in this series, but they don't have any more time. This is it. This is your last game. If you drop it, you're out. If you want to start that reverse sweep, you know, it might seem like a tough task, but there's no other option. If you go out here, if you lose this one, you are done. And the Ultra Liga is done. Poland is done. 2020 summer winner. We'll have no more representatives in the semis and moving forward.
And you don't want to go out on a whimper.
No. They were 5-1 in groups, man.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
They were, even though they were second seed in their group, they only went out with 1 loss to their name.
Yeah. In
that stage, they played amazingly well in Group B, and you know, this was the group with Movistar Riders. They had Movistar Riders in their group. Mm-hmm. They had Tricked and Penta as the other 2 teams.
They're not an easy group, honestly. As well, thought it was an easy group, but Movistar got knocked out by Fnatic yesterday.
Yeah,
and their Fnatic was the second seed coming out of Big's group, so it really looks like, you know, Group C has been pretty powerful, and even though you'd think Group B with like a German team, the NLC, plus, you know, just a lot of representation there from some of the bigger regions, I think maybe that would have been a tougher group, but it looks like so far, you know, Group B was where it was at. That was the real group of death. It's Keduii was going to get some good trading here in this bot side.
Yeah, it does turn out actually the Group C might have been, you know, a little slept on. Everyone talked, you know, a lot before the tournament started about Group D and how stacked it looked, but turns out Big and Fnatic, honestly, playing some really, really good games. Woo. so far in this group. Definitely showing up here, but Keduii able to dodge away on the zap, and Odie's just going low. The Zenith Blade, the Ignite. Keduii finds first blood, and now kubYD gonna get healed up as the 4th shot. Not quite enough for Keduii to secure another one. There is a Zhao making his way down the river. So seaz has to be very, very careful. They're trying to shove this wave in and make sure Odie's denied. Bruness does show his head, and Keduii has flash, seaz has flash, so Bruness not going to be able to do too much about this. And I believe that's 100% first bloods now in the bot lane in this series.
We're going to see this one again. It starts aggressively, proactively from PDW, but it's just... Jinx isn't known for a level 2, not known for an early lane phase. You pick this champion to be a little bit more chilled out and to scale and carry as the game goes on. Not going to happen so far. That first blood. Look at the item diff as well. Longsword versus longsword pickaxe. This lane isn't going to get any easier for PDW.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this game gets easier once Odie's got a couple of items, and laning phase is going to be long gone by then, so...
Yep.
Gonna be a rough one for them on that front as Rika and Czajek just showing here in the mid lane. It's a fairly large wave. seaz is on that flank, just clearing out some of the vision, and Keduii just not going to catch up on the wave as it's technically down in farm, but as he collects this wave up, will just squeeze ahead of his counterpart by 2 CS.
It's problematic already from the get-go though, and Bruness is going to have to bail out his bot side. Thing is, it's so difficult when you're playing versus a Twisted Fate as well. Anytime you visit bot side, Twisted Fate will just pop his ulti and he'll counter the play.
Yeah.
It's so hard to attack a side lane when there's a Twisted Fate in the game. Really means that you've, if you want to go mid, however, you know, there's something you can do there. But as we mentioned, Odie is where it's at for PDW. Anytime PDW win when they stand a chance in EU Masters, it's off the back of him in these team fights. As the game goes on, he's going to get jumped on again.
Yeah, and the 4th shot's going to come down. Odie. Oh, no! Keduii, you fool! Odie survives for a little bit longer. They were just toiling with their food. Oh.
You know, watching that fight go down, that was exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, if I was this Jhin, I would hit Rakan here. That's how bad I am AD carry, and he did it. Oh. But that's just mind games, lie, man.
My blood pressure may have rose a little bit after watching that.
It was, yeah, it was a close one, but 2 kills, and this is all 2v2 as well. Almost a 2,000 gold lead at this point in the favor of Big. 5 minutes into the game, we're going to get another look at this one. Just abusing Fog of War, no vision in that bush. You've got to respect that if you're Odie and Cubby.
I believe Foxy's not here, as far as I've been informed, so I'm just going to chill for the moment, and I'll be the one to talk through this action. Anyway, replay on your screen, you can see the total gold. Keduii, oh my lord. 2,400 gold to 1,600 gold between the AD carries, so we got pretty significant builds, leads starting to build up there. The Moonquiver and the pickaxe in the pocket of his inventory, and here's the destiny. Odie, it's not getting any easier. He's gold carded, he's rooted, he's locked down, and Rika will find the kill. Nice and easy. Big coming into game 3, just looking to win this as quick as possible and go 3-0 up.
All right, I'm back. Where did I miss?
You're back.
Am I back?
I don't know. I've not been informed. I'm gonna hope you're back.
I hope I'm back. I hope everything's okay. I missed a kill apparently. Rika got one, and that's gonna be first dragon as well. Oh my goodness, it's not looking particularly good here. Oh man, Big have just been so dominant. They've been so dominant so far in this series, and game 3 is off to no different.
They're looking for the fight. They're gonna catch on to color. The curtain call has been thrown down. Odie can't really do too much to stop it. He's got a 2-level deficit to his counterpart as the deadly flourish comes in. The realm warp break takes nobody to safety, but PDW are able to get away. It is a rough game 3 for them right now.
It's not looking great, Jake. I'm not gonna lie. It's not looking great. Melonik has really found his form as well. That first game, he was struggling a tad, I'd say, against color. Like, not massively, but in game 2, there was a huge top gap, and you can see as well, like, it's just 0-0-0 at this point, but Melonik is still able to find, You know, that CS lead is going to have that pressure as well. They've used the Stand United. It's not worked out for PDW. They've not been able to get that pressure across the map. That's really what you pick Shen for, obviously. And yeah, you're really going to have to want to go for late game in this one, because 3 kills to Big and 3 deaths onto Odie. It's not looking good.
Well, Melonik just going to collect this wave as Color, no Stand United, so if a play does break out bot side, will not be able to move down to help, unfortunately, as the Rift Herald spawns onto the Rift, and expecting to probably see Big turn their attention towards it. I think they picked everyone up so far during this series. So another potential objective they like to play through it, and this is kind of what we highlighted at the beginning of the day, was if Big just play fast and loose, PDW typically play fairly slow and chill. That's probably a win avenue, and Big has just completely recognized that. And again, I have to feel, but we're going into action, so that's all good. They got the gold card coming down. Odie firing away with those rockets, but he's just too far behind to be able to do too much. As Bruness jumping in, the teleport way too late. seaz is low, and Odie might be able to cash in on a couple of kills here. Give the kill to at least Odie, but no, it's going to be Czajek. That's okay for them. They're jumping onto Color. He can dash away, but the taunt's now down. Rika gets the gold card off into Czajek. The Zap goes down, and the Curtain Call has been summoned. Color eating up the shots for the team. The 4th shot will come in and followed up by the Deadly Flourish, but Rika comes in with the gold card, and Color is the one to get himself caught out. The traps go down, the flash goes in, and seaz actually loses his life. They do find himself a great taunt off. Melonik is low. What a turnaround. Odie now can start to reset, but there's got to be careful. That 4th shot from Keduii is going to be huge. Trading his life. PDW get themselves a triple kill. What a rocket by Odie. Holy moly. Beautiful stuff coming in. And just like that, PDW keep themselves in the game. It was going oh so wrong for them. And we just need to see that fight again, because I was not expecting that turnaround. 4 kills injected into Czajek. He's got his Everfrost finished up. And suddenly this Ryze is looking a little bit scary, but not getting a chance to even breathe here, as Bruness is getting jumped in onto by seaz. Akabane coming in. And Bruness actually looking to turn it around. He's feeling himself. He's got Color coming in with a Stand United. And suddenly the 1v2 becomes a 2v2, but as Keduii steps forward, it's now a 3v2, but a fight's breaking out on the other side as Odie may just be losing his life, and now Czajek, he was fed, but he's all alone. Doesn't matter, he's able to find himself a kill. They got the knockup, they got the CC to work with, and Melonik may just be going down. Czajek is kind of big right now. kubYD takes the kill, and PDW have a very, very fed Ryze.
I think I'm back, Jakey boy. I think I'm here. I've missed a lot, apparently. I was gone for like a minute, and PDW getting themselves back into the game. Beautiful stuff right here from the Polish team. We didn't want, as you said, them to go out on a whimper, and these are the fights that you need to bring it back. Well, I mean, I think it is. I didn't actually see it because I wasn't here. It's going to be big. Jake, actually, you run me through this fight. You're the one who saw it.
They couldn't get onto Odie, and Czajek was just starting to pick kill up after kill. Rika with the gold cards wasn't really finding optimal targets. It was Czajek when he's miles away from the tower. The Curtain Call comes down, but Color just tanks it for the squishier members and a bit of dodge work as well. So that 4th shot, but then you come in, there's the gold card. It's onto Color. Again, a tankier member, and this just buys time for Czajek to get the flash off. Color doesn't go down. The rune prison on the wall into the taunt means Melonik's in for a whole lot of hurt. And then at this point, Odie gets the reset. He's able to dodge away. Has to be careful because of Keduii's 4th shot. Czajek trades out, and then look at the rocket from Odie. He decides, actually, no, I'm going to go for the snipe. And Melonik is popped.
Oh. Yeah, that was a spicy team fight. A bit over-eager, I guess, there from Big. Kind of overstaying their welcome, over-pushing things just a teeny wee little bit. But great comeback right here from the Polish squad. They're less than 1,000 gold down. Beautiful stuff. They had been very much struggling in this game. People were like 5 minutes in and they're already 2k down. Getting another hold in this game. Really good stuff. And able to just buy a little bit more time, which is what they need to get back into this.
Absolutely. And the big thing as well is, Odie, he might not have got kills, but he did get assists. Now, Color, give it up. Oh, maybe not, actually. The gang's all here. Jumps in with a flash taunt. They've got Czajek to lock people in place. The rocket will secure the assist, and Czajek 6 kills on the board. keep your eyes on the Ryze.
Yep, and in the mini-map as well, because 5 members dedicated to that top side. OD used his rocket and was even running there from spawn. What does Big get on the other side? Keduii did sort of hover around that top, so he's not going to get a plate in mid. But Rika's getting a lot down here. That's plates over the pocket are big. But again, PDW making the proactive plays, and it's working this time. We've seen this in the series so far. They're not afraid to make the plays, but when they go for them, Big have the answers. And in this game, it's a little bit different. Big are leaving themselves a little bit to be desired, and PDW getting themselves back in.
Every little pick, every kill just puts PDW in a more comfortable position. You got this very, very fed Ryze. He's going to be a problem as this game goes later, and it's nice to see PDW have some early game proactivity, some team play, because we highlighted it at the beginning of the day. Trouble hit on it on the desk at the start. If PDW get into this team fighting when they feel comfortable later on, they are incredibly crisp, they're incredibly clean, and they're very hard to fight into. Big recognized that, so they were playing early game, and they were absolutely snowballing, but now, from a team who had 5 kills across 2 games, they now have 8.
It really tells you the story of this game, or the series, I should say, when we're hyping up PDW. They're still 2,000 gold down. Big has just been so dominant so far. You know, the Dark region, they've won it all. They won EU Masters back in 2019. Haven't had as much success since then. Here comes the engage though.
Here they go, they're looking in, and Odie able to free fire off onto Rika. The rocket is going to hit a couple of members, the health bar's going low. Rika trying to find the gold card. Look at the damage on the cover, but he's able to get Gale forced onto, and Keduii can finish up the kill. That was closer than it needed to be. Czajek wasn't there, but oh no, Keduii, you could be in trouble. The rune prison, the lockdown, the flash comes down. Cull has to be careful as he's jumped onto gold card. Odie comes in for the cleanse. There is the call, the curtain.
Ooh. Oh, that was so close. PDW are just inches away from getting the kills in this fight. Big still able to maintain control. Bruness is going in. Question mark.
Over Riga. Czajek's going to force them to flash forward. seaz is taking tower shots. Great little stopwatch there. Melonik just pops a member. And just like that, they find the kill. It is just a cluster in the mid lane.
What is going on? Everything's happened. They're not done. They want more.
They're not done. They're locking him down. They're looking for the knock up. They're not able to find it. Color is still alive. seaz goes down. Melonik with the empowered WQ, whatever you want to call it. He finds it. It's going to be a kill for Big. PDW doubling their kills across 2 games in this one. And it's absolutely bonkers. I love it.
It's pure chaos in game 3 of this series. But as of now, it's still Big coming out on top. What an insane fight. The fact that this is like 75% into the entire fight right here just shows how much action we had in this past few minutes. Bruness a little bit too far forward there, not really sure what he was intending to do. The fact that Czajek dies here as well is really important because he had a big shutdown. He got all those kills in that previous fight, and the gold went over to Keduii. He's the one with the shutdown for Big, and he's the one that doesn't die right here. Good tower juggling. Good aggro control, and honestly, just all in all, Big coming out on top. It took a lot of guts to make that play, especially when you've been overextending a lot and giving gold over to PDW. But they made the play and they made it work.
Look at that damage from Keduii though. 4,700 damage, 3,700 damage from Melonik. Big are pumping the numbers out right now, and while PDW definitely playing closer team fights, they are still down 4,000 gold to their counterparts. And with the solar flare going down, the destiny being channeled, Czajek maybe on the receiving end of the love, but actually looking just to instantly blow him up. The charm works the charm. And Rika, something smells a little.
You can see the gold titles as well. Keduii is storming ahead from everyone on the side of PDW that isn't named Czajek. I mean, just look at the AD diffs right here. That's 3k. That's absolutely vile. That's so grim at this point. A whole item difference for Keduii over OD. And OD's playing Jinx. Jinx does not offer a huge amount to a team if she's behind, if she's not fed. She's going to get collapsed on here.
Yeah, they're jumping in, they're bringing the Shen, they're bringing L of the backup, but I don't think he's going to be able to offer too much, but Czajek can keep to put the damage out. Melonik able to survive. Akabane flashes in, finds the kick, and Czajek will go down to Keduii just like that. Big walk away with the team fight victory. Keduii walks away with a double kill, and he's not done. He's after this pheasant. He's coming able to jump away. 4 shots going to get dodged, and PDW limp away from the team fight.
And that's going to be the next Herald spawning as well soon. And with the way these fights have been going, Big are in sole control of this one. It's been pretty impressive the way they played this series, and especially this game, because they actually fell behind a little bit, but you wouldn't think about it with the way these past few fights have been. As well, bearing in mind, PDW were fully aware that this was happening. They were setting up the trap, they had the answer with the Shen ulti, but they just can't fight. Big are just too far ahead right now, especially that Jhin. Absolutely massive. They're going to lose 3 members for the price of 2. It could have been worse for PDW in that situation.
I mean, I'll say this much, at least they're not going out on a whimper.
Yeah, for sure.
PDW, you know, they're not out of this game yet. They are fighting. They are at least contesting. They're trying to make this game work in their favor. And you still have the Ryze, you still have the Jinx, you still have the scaling, but that there shows why you can't leave them isolated. This here shows you why you can't leave them isolated. Odie can't even move.
Oh boy, from bad to worse for Odie in this game. We saw it in the last one. You know, he wants to take side lane, he wants to get that farm, he wants to get himself into the game, but against the Twisted Fate, yeah, he's just dying at this point. I guess he's not worth a lot of gold, but still, he's just 1-7, 19 minutes into the game. I'm sure he's had happier games of League of Legends. He's really feeling the pain in this one, and he's very far away from any semblance of power in this game.
Yeah, and you know, he's gonna typically look for kind of like the 2-3 item mark. I think with this item discrepancy, we're looking closer to 4 items before Odie's gonna actually be able to take over the game. And if Odie somehow gets 4 items, I think Big may have just thrown the game. They're looking to throw everything and the kitchen sink at Color as Color flashes away to safety, but Keduii just gale forces in to secure the kill. Here's the Rift Herald, and the tier 2 in the mid lane will be under fire. Not even under fire, it's dead. Tier 3 though, that's the next one to get sieged up. Czajek and Odie, keep your eyes on them. They need to be able to pump out the damage to be able to save this game.
That's a big ask. That's a big ask for the carries of PDW. Sure, Czajek has some level of strength as far as his items go, but in the context of this game, it is so hard for him to leverage that. How do you walk close to Leona, to the Camille, to the Lee Sin, you know, rapid fire Twisted Fate as well, even the Jhin. Like, if you Ryze as a low range champion, and if you go in, you're gonna have to expect you better be able to blow people up before they blow you up. And I think just the way this game's gone, with the strength coming out of Big, especially with just how much control they have in these fights with all the CC, so hard for Ryze to play, even with those Merc Treads. Despite the good start for Czajek, it's going to be ridiculously difficult for him to influence these fights.
Well, we hit that 20-minute mark, and the gold lead is horrid. 8,000 gold up to the side of Big. Baron Nash is on the Rift, and you know, it's a Jhin, so it's not the fastest Baron, so at least PDW can kind of be slightly comfortable in that. And you know, if this game gets later, they have a pretty quick Baron, as the Destiny's going to get pulled. Rapid fire cannon Rika dodges out on the Everfrost, and PDW not going to get caught here. Just getting a little bit more time where Odie's now able to move over and join the team as he's been farming up. But look at Keduii's items. He's building 2 items at once. And Odie still not really done anything with that double longsword.
It's looking pretty dire. It's looking dire. Like, you just got to buy time if you're PDW. Jinx has to get online. She has to be able to contribute to these fights. If not, then who is? Like, you just don't have anyone in PW who can. And here comes the fight.
Well,
you're going to get that time.
I don't think they're going to be able to step up here as Czajek's just clearing through the wave. Color did have the Sun United and the Taunt available. And, you know, if you're caught in a cluster, the Rockets, the Ryze, it's going to hurt. Yeah. But how do you get them? How do you get into the cluster without dying is the real question.
Exactly. And there is no answer to that question for PDW right now. It's just very difficult for them to navigate. Like I said, they need time. They need time to get those items so that damage is really coming through, that Jinx specifically becomes a threat. But you're not going to be given that time. You know, If this dragon goes down soon, that's going to be one away from Soul. Baron is always on the cards, as you're seeing Biggest starting that up as well. As you mentioned though, not the fastest Baron take. They would need Camille to make this one go fast, and Camille's the only member not involved in this Baron play, so they are just going to back off. They might look for the pick though.
Yeah, looking for cover. He's going to get himself gold card actually off into Bruness, the Everfrost to root them, and Czajek is a little low on mana, so I think PDW just quite happy to step away with forcing them off the Baron. They do still have color with a blue ward, so he's able to place that down, but remember, we're looking at an Infernal Soul. PDW lucky to pick up that earlier Cloud Dragon because this would be Infernal Soul, and I think that might just be game. They can now wait another 5 minutes before the next dragon comes up, but they have to fight the next one. They have to contest it. And the real question is can they? Will they be able to do so? Odie may have a second item and maybe half an item finished up, 2.5 items in his build at that point, but I expect Keduii to be pretty close to cashing in on his 4th item around that time.
Yeah, oh man, the item differences is crazy between those bot laners. As you said, like 5 minutes until this next dragon. Okay, you bought yourself 5 minutes. That's, well, you didn't buy anything. Actually, you just got to wait. You got to wait 5 minutes. But you need way more than that. We're talking like, you know, 15 minutes at the least, maybe another 20 minutes. Like, you've really, really got to dig deep here for PDW. It's difficult. You have one completed item at 23 minutes on the Jinx. It's not going to be enough to influence, and you have so many tools to jump forward on big.
Oh, they are finding the knockout. They are finding the charm. Melonik may just get caught out. They can find a pick. That could be kind of huge. Odie's damage, though, is so lackluster, and Bruness is just... He's unable to move. He stood still for so long that Odie able to free fire over the wall, finds himself a kill as Akabane flashes in. The robot goes down, and color is actually sent into Akabane's waiting hands. A double kill for Keduii. Akabane with a kick will secure the kill, and it's just the lone carries, all isolated, all alone.
No smite to go for the steal on this Baron. Melonik got a little bit feisty here, just a tiny bit, but honestly, it's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. She's tanky with that Divine Thunder, Titanic Hydra. She's not going to go down particularly quickly. If you keep your eyes on Czajek in this fight, this is actually like the perfect fight for Czajek. He gets to kite backwards. There's no one really like in his face that he can't deal with. Unfortunately, because the rest of his team just melts like paper and they're not giving out any threat, any damage on the backside, it just means that he's the only threat in these team fights. You know, if he had a little bit more to work with there, then sure, that team fight actually would have worked pretty well for PW. I think it was a good spot.
Yeah,
but
I was counting Bruness's CC. I on a rough estimate, it was 6 to 7 seconds he couldn't move. Impressive he survived 6 to 7 seconds, to be honest, with this gold lead. But it was 6 to 7 seconds he just wasn't able to play the game. Yeah,
that's it, isn't it? Like someone like Shen, someone like Jhin, you just got to stand there and take it. That's your role. That's your role in this game. You pass the butter, and that's it. Like the issue is. It's like you just got to buy time, and you're not able to do that.
Well, I think the butter's melted at this point because the base is being cracked open. Rika with the gold card, just onto cover, just to threaten him somewhat. As the inhibitor goes down, and Melonik looking to jump him forward. Odie has to be so careful. Rapid fire cannon gold card will spell his demise, and you got to Ryze. Ryze has a pretty horrible time into Baron waves as Melonik able to hook shot away. That was very long range, but able to escape, and oh no, good block by Carla. Wow. That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage right here. Keduii's just so far ahead. Even the front lines can't deal with him. Everyone's got like 1.5 items, and Keduii's just chilling on like 4. Like he's so far ahead. I think this could be it. The damage is too big. It's a lot of damage. Not even Flex Tape can save the day here for the side of PDW. Odie already incredibly low.
and Keduii's able to cash in on a double kill, making a triple kill. Actually, might look for the quadra kill. Czajek is going oh so low. Are Big gonna give him the pentakill? I think they're gonna do so. They don't care about ending. They care about the KDAs. Then everybody's gonna fall down. Keduii can't get the penta, but he gets himself a triple in response. Who's gonna get it? Quadra kill for Czajek. Akabane's trying to end the game. Czajek trying to get the pentakill. It's so low, the Nexus.
He got it.
Czajek, but the base goes down. They don't go out on the whimper, but goddamn do they go out. Big are through to the semis.
I don't think I've seen that before. Pentakill within like 2 seconds of you losing the game. Oh my goodness, that was madness. The pure disrespect from Czajek to run back into the base. Literally, sell an item and buy Guardian Angel just to deny the penta from Keduii right there. That was foul. Either way, the ending of that game aside, what a series from Big right here. They're going into the semis and they look terrifying.
I mean, it was a statement series from Big. You know, ignoring the end of that game, and I mean that game was the closest one we had in this series. Like I said, PDW came in with 5 kills from the first 2 games. It was, you know, they just rolled over in their first 2 games. At least PDW put some kind of a fight up against Big. But by the time they decided to start fighting, Big were already, you know, kind of ready just to fight them, and they were scrapping with them, you know, with a massive gold lead, and it just slipped so far from PDW's hands, and unfortunately, they get 0-3'd.
Yeah, it was very clean from Big. That last game had a few moments, I guess you could say, where it was looking like there were opportunities potentially for PDW to get back in. But that was as close as it got, and you know, Big never really lost their gold lead at all. And now they continue their 100% win rate when they are ahead. That's 8 games now. When they're ahead at 15 minutes, they win. One of the best early game teams we have here. Great at closing out.
Yeah.
And multiple threats across the entire squad. Going to be really hard to bring them down.
I genuinely don't know how whoever's going to play versus Big is going to go. I think Big have been an incredible performer. I think it's been an amazing series from them. You know, first out of Group C, and now looking like a team who are going to just be really formidable in the semi-finals. We're going to throw to a break anyway, and when we're back, we'll have the analyst desk to talk about this series and the dominant performance from Big. So we'll see you in a moment.
Baby, break my heart, give me all you got. Don't ask why, don't be shy. Is it love or lust? I can't get enough. Don't ask why, don't be shy. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, da 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 da, da da da, la 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 la, la 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 la. Change, I know that you like that. You know where my mind's at. Can't be tamed. I'm not gonna play. Oh no, I ain't like that. You know I'm a wildcat. Baby, break my heart. Give me all you got. Don't ask why. Don't be shy. Is it love or lust? I can't get enough. Don't ask why. Don't be shy. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. People say I'm not gonna change, not gonna change. I know how you like that. You know where my mind's at. Can't be tamed. I'm not gonna play, not gonna play. Oh no, I am like that. You know I'm a wildcat. Baby, break my heart. Give me all you got. Don't ask why. Don't be shy, shy, shy. Is it love or lust? I can't get enough. Don't ask why. Don't be shy, shy, shy. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Know yourself beautiful. Wanna get emotional. Oh. Follow me, reason now. We could work a miracle. Oh. Yeah. Baby, break my heart. Give me all you got. Don't ask why. Don't be shy, shy, shy. Is it love or lust? I can't get enough. Don't ask why. Don't be shy, shy, shy. La 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 la.
He's gonna flash in, and he steals the bird! How did that connect by Edgeway?
Although PDW put up a fight, they get knocked out by Big, and that means the Ultra Leaguer is out of the Amazon European Masters. It was a 3-0, was a very convincing 3-0, and a big role for their AD carry, Keduii, who's joining me for an interview. Yeah, I want to say, Keduii, a pentakill, that must feel good always.
Yeah, I guess.
You
But
guess,
not for
right?
me. But yeah, well played to Czajek for getting that pentakill. I would have loved to get it myself, but he denied me with the GA buy.
Hey, Keduii, looking at the bans coming into this series, we saw a lot of bans going towards the bot lane. What was the idea behind that?
Well, first of all, we didn't really need bans ourselves in the first three bans. So we always took out his Aphelios and his Ziggs, which he showed a lot in the games before. And we really felt like he was always doing very well on them. So yeah, we just took them out because we had no bans ourselves. And then at the end, it went into second pick phase with both bot laners still having to pick their bot lane. So yeah, I mean, we just obviously banned bot lanes there, and that's why he had to suffer with 5 AD bans and had to pick like bad ADC every game.
Yeah, then at one point he picks up the Jinx, gets a few kills though, but it's not enough. Looking at Big as an organization, you're the last representatives from the Prime League. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great for us. Sucks a bit for the region itself because I didn't think we would, like, our other teams would perform that bad. But yeah, I mean, we won our league. We are doing very well in the BO Masters, and for us, it's feeling really good.
Then looking at yourself, as we see some nice plays from your side, your own performance this European Masters. I mean, we've met each other earlier on a European Masters as well. You were in the finals back then. How are you feeling now about your own performance? And are you maybe looking again to repeat the finals position?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm a very different person from now to back then, because this was like 2 years ago or something when I made the Masters finals. And I feel like myself, I'm performing way better than back then. I had a really good team back then, which did a lot for me. So yeah, and now I'm looking obviously to do well myself in the semis and in the finals if we get there. Yeah.
Yeah, because talking about your team, Big has already won European Masters once. That was back in summer 2019. I think that was a lineup with Karzi. Now you're in this position. You're looking to maybe bring up another title. Do you think the lineup is capable of doing so?
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you think
I'm
that?
looking forward to it. I don't know. We're just playing really good recently. We're scoring good, and our group stage was really good. Our playoffs now were really good, at least the quarters until now. And we don't really think that the other teams are that much better than us. I feel like there are some weak ones right now still in the tournament and some good ones. But even the good ones are, in my opinion, not really that much of a challenge to beat. Like, it's not unwinnable.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking forward to win it the first time as an orc to win the EU Masters twice.
Yeah, so you're talking about good teams, and if we talk about good teams, we need to talk about K-Corp. I mean, they won last spring. They're taking on UCAM tomorrow, and they are potentially your opponent for the semifinal. What do you think about that series? Because, I mean, you mentioned bad teams and good teams. I don't think you're going to disclose which is what. But how do you feel about that series, UCAM and K-Corp?
Well, I'm seeing K-Corp in the favorite position for sure. I would say that K-Corp is one of the teams that we are looking forward to face since they are pretty good. Same for Misfits, in my opinion. And in my opinion, the other teams are for sure not above our level. They're all for sure teams that we are looking forward to beat, looking forward to win. But I will expect K-Corp to win against UCAM, and I will expect us to play against K-Corp in the semis then.
All right. Keduii, I'm going to thank you for your time. Once again, congrats. 3-0 isn't nothing, and it is the first time ever that we see the Prime League annihilate the Ultra League from the playoffs. That has never happened before. Once again, congratulations, and enjoy, and we'll see you at the semis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And with that, we're heading over to a break, but when we come back, we're going to break down that last game from that series that made Big go 3-0, so don't go anywhere.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön.
And he steals the farm! How did that connect by Edgeway?
Fini! As EU Masters Champions!
I'm feeling like
Welcome back to the Amazon European Masters, where we just saw the last Ultra League representative PDW fall to Big in a 3-0 fashion. And I would say it felt like a very, very short series and a bit of the diffy in the jiffy.
Yeah, and a bit of a fiesta to end off fiestas for the last one as well. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think Akabane really stepped up this entire series long, and it was a nice way to kind of round it out to have kind of the big bot diff in this game as well.
I felt like the expectations we set from the get-go came true. We said that PDW are going to play a little bit more defensive, try to get to this 30-minute team fights that they're really, really good at, that they never miss because they're so good at team fighting, and then Big are going to try to play the really fast-paced, macro-oriented game and shut them down. And boy, PDW could just not absorb all that pressure.
Yeah, Big just completely knocked them off kilter, right? We thought we were going to see a little bit more from kubYD in the bot lane, where he was going to start moving around, making sure that he could make these plays. That was not what we got at all. We got Akabane shutting that down from the get-go almost every single time. Then you start to go towards, okay, well now we've just got the mid-jungle 2v2, and it was Big consistently dominating that 2v2 and making sure they were having the bigger impact on the map.
We have to be honest, like the first draft we saw in this series wasn't really it for PDW. You said they were going to be defensive trouble, but maybe they were a bit too defensive. Coming into game 3, I don't know if PDW was back in the, like, taking over control, or was Big trying to have a little bit of fun, because seeing Keduii flash forward to find another kill and then die himself to a Czajek, who we kind of praised a lot though, but I mean, we saw a bit of Czajek's normal form in this last game, but the first 2 games, he was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I kind of felt like there was a lot of back and forth in that game, where like it felt like we got those initial kind of kills going over on the top side that gave at least a little bit of wiggle room back towards PWD, but it just never really got to fruition. It was kind of like, one was like, oh, okay, it was a little bit of a laugh and banter. 2, 3 kills go over, kind of changes to a small. The third one or the fourth one goes over. They're like, there's a slap across the back of the head, say, lads, we really need to get ourselves back into this game. And that's what they did. Like, the ability for them to just turn it back around, go, right, we know how to find these quick picks, we know how to play with this Twisted Fate, and every single team fight, Big were coming out on top.
I feel like for this specific game, 27k on Keduii's pick on their own. They had 2v2 kills down the bot lane. Audi unfortunately kept getting caught in the jungle, pushing unfortunately past the mid
midpoint,
the mid part of the lane after his tier 1 was demolished as well, been found out on the side lane, which was a little bit of a head scratcher. But I feel like even the kills that Big gave away at this point, it wasn't necessarily PDW playing out of their minds. I felt like it was overconfidence from Big. They had 2 already in the bag. They were about 7, 8k
a little bit of fun
ahead.
didn't hurt anyone.
Like, we have an uber-fed Jhin. Let's just try and see what happens. And to be fair, Czajek got fed from mid, but one player is not going to carry the entire team versus such a team.
Yeah, and I have to say, I wasn't a big fan of the Jinx pick. I mean, we were talking about it backstage. I was like, look, I think Jinx with a Thresh is wonderful and could have worked wonders here. But when you've already got that Rakan locked in, you're not going to find success there. And when you're especially going to go for a fight level 2 against Jhin and Leona, that's never going to work out.
I mean, we definitely have to highlight that bot lane for Big. I mean, Keduii said in an interview as well, we identify what Audi's strengths are. We attacked him on that one, and that's where they took the game over, because it was not only this game on the Jhin, also the Ezreal, it jumped out for me.
I felt like Big showed in this series how multi-dimensional they are. They play through mid, bleeding pressure into side lanes. Melonik is holding so well on his own, no matter what pick they put him on. Akabane can be all over the map, but I felt like the telltale of this story is the fact that if the bot lane wants to step up, they will big time. Getting these 2v2 kills down the bot lane was just asserting pure dominance and showing how many different styles this big lineup has to offer.
And I think kind of like, as you're talking about that, like triple facet to this team, like where did you even start with trying to pick out bans?
What are you
right?
talking
Because like, we already got rid of all the AD carries. All right, cool, whatever. But like, they tried to take the Camille away in game number 2. We saw the Gwen come out from Melonik. He ended up popping off on that pick. Then we end up looking at the jungle, and now we got to get rid of the Shen Zhao. He's still looking really good on the Lee Sin. That's not working out. There's a Twisted Fate and a Ryze that's caused us real issues in the mid as well. It just felt like you went down the list. It was like, right, lads, what the hell do we do here?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, like, looking at this series, it was a bit of a one-sided matchup, but now I do wonder what's going to happen in the matchups that are coming from these quarterfinals, because looking at what on the bracket now, it's UCAM versus K-Corp, and I talked to Keduii about that as well. It's like, he expects K-Corp to be the one he's going to face in that semifinal, but they're against UCAM, and they want to have their revenge from the semis from spring.
Now here's the deal. Everyone I hope everyone has watched the semifinals from last season, from spring 2021, because UCAM took K-Corp to the very last minute. It was a best of 3 where UCAM could have very easily beat K-Corp in, and it was really down to the nitty-gritty details that put K-Corp ahead. Now this is a best of 5. It's a whole different story. You have 3 games to come back if you fall down. And to be fair, I feel like UCAM want a little bit of revenge from the last one, because a lot of birds were tweeting around that time. They were like, had that been a best of 5? Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that matchup. I think having that best of 5, seeing how there's going to be so much changes there, like even for guys like Saken, right? I'm keeping my eyes on some of these picks like the Ryze. I really want to see what's going to happen in that equation. So I think this is going to be a much closer matchup than I think a lot of people are looking at on paper, and one that's going to be an absolute banger.
I think the one thing that's more interesting for me as well is that we've never seen a back-to-back winner in European Masters. We've never seen a region win twice in a row. K-Corp could be the one to do that, to do both those things.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, they have the likes to do that. They're one of the top 3 that we're expecting to go to the finals. Big, Mrs. Ramir and Carmen Corp. So if they manage to keep their dreams alive, that's great. The blue wall stands tall. But if the blue wall stands tall, Spanish region is losing yet another representative.
They did fall, though, in the playoffs against Misfits Premier, so they came in as a 2nd seed. Does that make him less scary? I mean, we see Adam being changed out, Kabashar coming in, who's a very experienced player. What do you think about that one?
I think there's still like enough there that you're going to be totally fine, right? I think you've still got an experienced top laner that's there. You're looking towards Saken in the mid lane as well. Like, this is not a team that I'm like, oh, this is completely going to fall apart. I think you've still got a huge amount that they can work through.
But then where's the hope for UCAM? I mean, I can bring one piece of that hope, and that is a Dutch jungler called Hades. I mean, I've seen him a lot in the Benelux as well, but seeing him grow over the years, I mean, he's a totally different type of player. Looking at his stats, though, he is a player that facilitates very well for his team, as he had a lot of kill participation. I think he had a lot of assists. So it's all on top of my mind right now. but Hades is the one that makes the plays and makes UCAM do anything. We talk a lot about K-Corp. We say K-Corp has a lot of chance, but is there also a chance for UCAM?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like they've kept most of the roster intact for the sort of UCAM, and they're coming in hot for a revenge. I feel like the top side of the map is going to be very crucial, because Drid is no longer going to have to play against Adam. He's going to be playing against kabashar. Now, I don't know if that's easier or harder to play against, because kabashar is bringing a bunch of experience behind him, especially playing against like more of a rookie player. So yeah, I feel like the top side of the map is going to decide mainly what's going to happen in the series.
And with that, we are going to get ourselves ready for that series, because that's coming up tomorrow as we sign off from here. We thank you for watching. We congratulate Big as being the only Prime League representative and keeping that dream alive. We'll see you tomorrow to see K-Corp and UCAM fight it out in the best of 5 knockout stage here at the Amazon European Masters.